The Light at Willow Creek. Part 1. The Lamp That Never Sleeps. When I first moved to Willow Creek, I didn't notice the lamp. Not right away, anyway. I'd come here after the divorce, chasing quiet the way some people chase storms. Willow Creek was a strange little patch of suburbia in Maryland. Lawns neat but never perfect, mailboxes leaning like they'd given up, kids on bikes yelling cryptic things only they understood. My house sat at the very end of Sycamore Lane. Beyond my driveway, the asphalt narrowed into a ribbon of road that curved into the woods. That's where the lamp stood, tall, wrought iron, its glass panels faintly yellowed. Older than anything else on the street. The first night, I realized it was different. Every other street lamp clicked off around midnight, but this one stayed lit. Not the sterile LED white of the others, but a warm, golden glow, like honey in glass. At first, I thought maybe it was on a different power circuit. But on the third night, curiosity got the better of me. I went out to look at its base. The metal plate at the bottom was rusted through, flaking away like burned paper. I crouched down and saw frayed wires, dangling loose, not connected to anything. My skin prickled. That same night, at 3:14 a.m., I woke to a sound outside my window. A soft shush-shush, like someone dragging their feet through dry leaves. I pulled on a sweatshirt, grabbed the baseball bat I kept by the door, and stepped out onto the porch. She was there. A girl, maybe 10 years old, stood under the lamp. White puffer jacket, long hair down her back. She was facing away from me, motionless. "Hey," I called. She turned her head slowly. For a moment, and I swear I'm not exaggerating, the light shifted. It didn't flicker. It slid, like a liquid, straight into her eyes. They caught the glow and turned gold, the way a coin looks at the bottom of a fountain. We stared at each other for maybe 5 seconds. Then she turned and walked into the woods, swallowed by darkness. I didn't follow. In the morning, I found something in the dirt at the base of the lamp. A coin, no bigger than a dime. Completely smooth. No markings. Warm to the touch, as if it had been lying in the sun all day. But it was cloudy. Part 2. The Woods That Remember. The next day, I asked my neighbor, Mrs. Carter, about the lamp. She was in her 70s, wore thick glasses, and spent most of her afternoons pruning roses that never seemed to bloom. "That thing," she said, glancing toward the end of the street. "Best not to mess with it. Been there longer than I've been alive." "Why is it always on?" I asked. Her lips pressed into a thin line. "Because some lights don't go out." Then she looked at me over her glasses. "And some places remember more than they should." That wasn't an answer. But later, she told me about a girl named May Lawson. 20 years ago, she vanished from this street. Last seen, you guessed it, standing under the lamp. No witnesses except another kid, who claimed her eyes turned gold before she walked into the woods. That night, I couldn't stop thinking about it. At 2 a.m., I took a flashlight, my camera, and the strange coin, and headed for the lamp. She was there again. Same white jacket. Same posture. "You brought it back," she said, her voice so soft I almost thought I imagined it. "What is it?" I asked, holding up the coin. Her gaze flicked toward the woods. "It's not mine anymore." Then the ground trembled. The air went cold, not winter cold, but damp, metallic, like breathing inside a cave. The lamp's glow deepened, then abruptly vanished, plunging everything into darkness. Somewhere in that blackness, something breathed. Slow, wet inhalations. Then a whisper, right by my ear. 2 more nights. I bolted for my house. My heart didn't stop racing until I slammed the door and locked it. Only then did I realize my hand was empty. The coin was gone. Part 3. When the Light Dies. The next 2 nights were hell. I barely slept. The lamp still burned every evening, but now I saw other lights too, faint golden flickers deep in the woods. I dug through the town archives. Willow Creek had once been the site of a mining camp in the late 1800s. In 1897, there'd been a collapse. 14 miners trapped underground. The rescue teams swore they saw light leaking from the earth before the last tunnel was sealed. No bodies recovered. On the third night, I knew something was coming. Around 2:30 a.m., I stepped outside. The lamp was burning brighter than I'd ever seen. And I wasn't alone. They stood in a circle around it, a dozen figures. Men in torn work clothes. Women in dresses that belonged to another century. Kids clutching toys long since rotted away. And every one of them had golden eyes. May stepped forward. You can see us because you still have a choice, she said. We can't leave while the light burns. What happens if it goes out? I asked. Her voice was almost a whisper. We go back to where the dark found us. She held out the coin, the same smooth, warm disc. Only now it was hot, almost burning my skin. The lamp began to hum, a low vibration that made my teeth ache. I understood. If I took it, the lamp would die, and whatever bound them here would end. But I had no idea if that meant peace or something worse. I took the coin. The light flared once, then vanished. In the silence, I heard dozens of voices exhale at once, a sound like a tide going out. When my eyes adjusted, I was alone. In the morning, the lamp was gone. Not broken, not dismantled, just gone. And when I asked around, every neighbor swore there had never been a lamp at the end of Sycamore Lane.